Welcome back to the shop, ladies and gentlemen. Long time no see. I had some stuff to deal with. My wife had a little surgery. I had a little surgery in the back. Didn't help a lot, but whatever. So we have some new projects here in the shop. We have this Mustang. We had it on a dyno last week for a customer. It wasn't another shop for a couple months and they really screwed up. So we worked some stuff over. We put it on a dyno. We worked together with a partner to get it remotely tuned, made 835 wheel. Customers really happy. We converted it to E85 too, so that thing is a beast now. We're still working on that third gen Camaro. We're on the final road with it. I guess we still have some wiring left to do and plumbing the fuel system and some other stuff. But Max did a really good job on the wiring and all that stuff. So we have, yeah, professional. Because Mighty Mustache is a professional wiring profession specialist, whatever, something like this. Well, today the video is about my personal car. That's my '78 Caprice that I built in Austria, and I shipped it over when we moved to Arkansas. And yeah, it's an LS swap TH400 fun car, made a little bit over 500 horsepower, and I recently changed the wheels and tires, so we have nice 17-inch front runners in the front and the 15s in the back with Mickey Thompson drag radials, front runners in the front. And the problem with these tires is that thing is so humongous and big that I tried 26-inch tires. It looked kind of sketchy, so I put 28s on. So there is one thing I don't like about it, because the car sits a little bit higher than it was before, and I can't really lower it a lot because there is not enough travel. So I already have aftermarket bump stops on there and they already hit the lower control arm. So I try to zombie together something, because you can't buy drop spindles and stuff for that specific model. So you only can buy it for later model Caprices, and they have a different bolt pattern. So I'm trying to zombie together a front suspension now, or yeah, like drop spindles from a Camaro, rotors from a Camaro and stuff, because they have the same bolt pattern. So I will film the whole process. We go into Hackett Cruise Night this weekend. That's the last rollout for the car, and then I will start to take it apart and start the twin turbo project. I choose to go I would say cheaper route for now. These are Summit Racing Venom wheels here in 17-inch with Mickey Thompson front runners. In the rear, 15 with Mickey Thompson drag radials. I had to drill out the wheels and stuff to mount these humongous, to be able to mount the wheels on these humongous quick performance studs, and I had to make aluminum spacers to mount them, but it worked out pretty good. That rear end is really nice, and the gearing is perfect for what I do, and I shouldn't have a problem at all putting two nice turbos on that 408 stroker with share a fab intake, and hopefully make a little bit more power than that. So most of that stuff will be for sale pretty soon. Exhaust system, headers, transmission crossmember. I will do some chassis bracing. I will do coilover conversion in the back, get rid of the fuel tank and put that nice aluminum fuel tank in here. Already got that thing right there, and a water tank in the trunk for the intercooler system. So yeah, so I will show you the problem that I have in the front. I mean, it's not a problem, but I'm not happy with the travel that's left here. Look at that nice Mustang. By the way, Max is chilling here in that Jeep and working on the gauges here, because we have to build a gauge cluster for that on the CNC table. It's a nice Chevy small block in the Jeep, so it's the only good swap you can do. So let me go underneath here. So if you look right here, focus. So that's all the travel that's left from the bump stop to from the control arm to the frame, and I don't like that. So if I go lower with the coilovers in the front, there's not enough travel, and I'm not happy with the brakes either. So I don't want to spend TBM money for now. for now. I will probably do that later because I think a TBM brake kit would look very good in there. So yeah, I have all the parts over here and some more stuff. Everything is new. I use power stop stuff for now. That should be plenty enough stopping power for the road. McGauthy drop spindles, 2-inch drop spindles, so I can probably raise the suspension up a little bit and still be in the same ride height, original ride height. I will put some bearings on the springs so everything is easier to adjust. We have brake pads, we have new Timken wheel bearings, we have new calipers from Power Stop, and we have the new Power Stop rotors. So I will lift that thing up now with that rolling jack and take the wheels off, and then I can show you a little bit more. So you see there's probably enough travel upwards, but no travel downwards. So I don't think I need a long travel suspension yet. But yeah, that's the old stuff that I mounted in 2020 probably. Everything is flex lined, new brake hoses, new rotors, new calipers actually. But yeah, after 15,000 miles, I'm not really happy with it, and especially this one gets a little bit hot. I checked the wheel bearings and stuff, they look good. There's enough grease in there. I think my upper ball joint is already bad. That's just a bolt in. So also this suspension type, the upper control arm stuff is kind of zombie together, because this is for a 2nd gen F body actually, or Chevelle. I can't even remember. The coilover kit is for Chevelle. You can see that's this low profile whatever bump stop that I had. So there's enough travel, but not enough travel downwards. So I will undo the spring now, so we don't have a lot of tension in there. Take that thing out because I think one of the bushings up here is bad. I hear a little squeaky noise. That's a common problem on these, because if you bolt it down right here somewhere, the shock sometimes is a little bit angled, so it rubs on one side on the hole. Sometimes if you take the bushings out, you see that the hole is already rubbed out on one side, kinda. We will see if that's the case here, and then we go from there. So first of all, I got some new cool coilover wrenches. You use a 3/8 wrench for it, so that hopefully makes stuff a little bit easier. I use this one to open the lower one. Now we'll take my caliper and measure how much preload I had on this one, because it's a little bit different on from this side to the other side, because yeah, whatever, these cars are probably not balanced very good. So I will take a caliper and measure from the mounting surface to right up here, so I can put it back like it was. I will have a bearing right in there, like a flat bearing, so this is easier to adjust. Then I will take that thing out and see if I can open all these bolts, and then we have to check if the McGauthy stuff uses the same ball joint. I have to change the ball joint anyway, so I can choose the right one to bolt in here. So we'll see. I will measure that stuff now, and then we go from there. So open the jam nut up here. I already turned this down, so the spring is loose. I like these kind of suspensions. There's not a lot of tension on there if you work on. And now we'll see if we can open that without holding the shock. Well, nope. To hold the shock at least to open that. Yeah, smaller than that. and it's a 1/4 inch. No, it's even smaller than 1/4 inch, but 1/4 inch should work pretty good. And it does. Yeah, these bushings are bad up here. But I also drove the car on sick ward 2 times and drove it around on the street, around 15,000 miles already. And like I said, common problem on these is the shock hole must be relocated on the top so you don't have tension on the rod. Well, we'll see. Maybe I just cut it out and cut this one out and weld in a new plate with a different hole, or just weld a plate over it to center that rod. Yeah, that bushing is probably not the best anymore. Yep. See that? That's exactly the problem. When the rod is not really centered in there, it's rubbing on the side, it's rubbing on the metal. That's that squeaky noise I have probably. I will try to fix that too. Now to the lower ones. Good stainless hardware, so rust is not a problem. Holding that nut is a problem. I can reach it with my wrench or a ratchet. Got it.
Aren't you glad there's not a coil spring there anymore?
Yeah, I just said that on camera.
Yeah.
That I'm very happy that there is not a stupid amount of tension on that.
Yeah. I really need to do that on my car. The coilovers on it. Death springs.
Yeah, no death springs. But if you loosen that one, that takes a big amount of tension off, see?
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
So I'm ready to take the shock and the spring out, and then we'll see what we have to deal with on top. So the coilover kit is out, spring is right here, looks fresh and new. Shock is right here, already cleaned up, and now I can show you the tension problem on these. If you look up here, you see this little spot? This little dimpled in. I mean, that's hardened stuff, so it's not a problem, but what happens is up here, that hole is already worn out on this side, because the true center of that suspension is probably right around here somewhere. so there is a lot of tension on that, and the plastic bushing is rubbing through in like, I don't know, 2 days, and then it starts rubbing the shock right here. So what I will do, probably the solution for that, is drill that a little bit bigger, and or make it like bigger on this side. Take a thick washer, because it's only the shock mount, it's not holding the vehicle's weight, and see where the true center is, and then just weld it here on top. That's probably what I will do. The thing is, my plan is to cut a way bigger hole and mount a real shock mount up here with an eyelet, but that's something for later on. So this one is toast, so I will see if I can get a new one and try and check if it's the right one for these spindles. I'll take the rest apart now, take the brakes off and stuff, probably just take the whole thing off. I don't want to get greasy and take that stuff off, and then I will test fit the new stuff. So this is the adjuster for the spring and the ride height and stuff, and you have that on the shock, and then they give you one of these shims to put on so it can slide on here. And I will install a cooler kit now. That's a good upgrade for a lot of people, probably, if I can find it. I just had it somewhere and it's gone. Huh. Did I put it over here somewhere? Oh, it's right here. I'm stupid. So this is a bearing kit. So you put on one shim, then you put on one bearing, and then you put another shim on there, and if you have the spring on there now, it will turn easy and there is no friction. So this should make the adjustment way easier. There's a second kit for the other side. That's one of the upgrades while I have the shocks and stuff out anyway. So cool. I will take the rest off and then I start putting the new stuff in. And I have to source a ball joint. I guess the rider should have one. I will check it out. I have to look through my paperwork because that's not a Caprice ball joint. It's a bolt-in from, oh, maybe it's from a Caprice. I don't remember. Like I said, this is from a Chevelle or F-body or whatever. So I have to see what kind of ball joint I need. So back to topic. Why is there another control arm? Because local O'Reilly's or any parts dealer around here couldn't give me a ball joint. So I stopped up there at Nicky Bobby Inc. and asked Nick about his extended ball joints for his long travel suspension. But he has some in stock. The problem would be that the ball joint will probably bottom out with a lowered car. So he had the great idea. He said, hey, I have control arms, like tubular control arms for, I think, a Chevelle or so. Just take the ball joints out because I don't need them anymore, and take these for Max's car. So thanks to Nick for these control arms. Again?
Thank you, Nick.
Thank you, Nick. So we will use these on Max's trash Camino. And I will just use the ball joints for now, and he can buy new ball joints because I don't care. No, because we have to finish the car for the Hackett Cruise Night, and his Camino is still under construction. But we have some cool plans with it, and you guys will maybe see the car if you go to PRI this year. But I will tell you more in the next video about the trash Camino. And boom! Fits like a glove. Camaro drop spindles in a 78 Caprice. I got the new ball joint installed. I found bushings here at in Max's toolbox. Coilovers are back in with the new bearing in here. So this is easy peasy. What we're doing right now is putting the correct wheel bearings in there. So these power stub rotors are coming with a race, but I'm not a fan, or I never used the race that came with the rotor, with just a bearing that I bought somewhere. So I buy
Is this an old one?
So I bought quality ones and use here.
It's the wrong one.
I use the race and bearing from the same manufacturer because the race and the bearing is matched on a set, and I don't want to use the old ones with a new bearing. Not a fan of that.
Yay.
Ooh, like a dream. Perfect. So I will adjust the coilovers a little bit more. I have to adjust them anyway, and probably the upper control arms too. Already opened this, so we can adjust the camber in here. And then last, yeah, somebody will complain, oh, it's hanging on the brake hose. I don't give a shit. So we'll mount all that stuff here. He will pack the bearings with grease, then ready to put the first side on. Like I said, I will adjust the coilovers a little bit more so everything is kind of tightish, and then we have to see and adjust the ride height anyway, because we have to go, our measurement was 4.35 inches, so we probably have to add 2 inches or 1.5 because I want to go like half of an inch lower, maybe an inch, probably half an inch, and that should be the perfect ride height then with the front runners. Max is having fun over there.
I'm greasy.
He's a grease monkey because he's filling the bearing packer that he just bought at O'Reilly's, because I never used one. I saw one, but I never used one because
saves time.
I had my dirty fucking greasy hands. But whatever, that's probably a better solution to pack the bearings. Anyway, races are in, he's putting the bearings in, then we put the seal in the back. This stuff here is done, everything is torqued down to spec, cotter pins are in here, this is clean. So we're ready to put the first rotor in. I will take the old stuff apart and grab the nut and that big washer that goes on here, and then we change the caliper. This is already torqued down up here with the new bushings. I have to adjust the height right here now while he's doing that. And then we go from there. Everything kind of looks straight-ish. Not too bad. I don't think we need an alignment. I mean, we probably need an alignment, but at least check it. My body's sharp, but yeah, I never did an actual alignment on that car.
Really?
Never. I just eyeballed it when I had it on my jack stands and lift and all that stuff, and it worked out pretty good. It started to pull a little bit right lately, but I don't know why. Probably because this brake was locking up a little bit, because this side was hotter all the time. Yeah, or maybe the bearings started to fail, I don't know.
The world may never know.
Well, failed bearings got me a 49 inch, so with good old Willwood brakes.
So if we fail the bearings up here, we can get a Willwood kit too?
No. If these bearings fail, we have a problem. But they have to survive one freaking weekend for the Hackett Cruise Night, where we will roast these tires because they're already pretty much done. So do a couple fancy burnouts together with this dude. Actually, same deal. Old tires in the back, so he will roast them, create a little bit of smoke, then put the new ones on, put the front runners on, and in a couple of weeks, I guess, or over the winter, we put a drag wing on and shoot. Max is going into the corner with his new control arms.
Yes.
You horny about that?
A little bit.
A little bit. This much? Okay, little bitty. I can show you guys what we do over here. Showed you before, small block Chevy. So, small block Chevy. So, a shop thought it's a good idea to glue that shit on and stuff, and gauges didn't work, and so the customer brought us some nice custom gauges with GPS, speedo, and all kinds of stuff. So what we're doing now is we're measuring and trying to design something in Fusion, like a cover plate for all that deal, all the way over here, because we only keep the Glock we take this one out and we try to make the right cutouts for all these knobs and for all these little thingies here, and just paint it and riv knot it over there. You want to do some army style, so we probably paint it black or wrap it black and then do a bunch of rivets and stuff, so it kind of looks cool. But we'll see. We'll probably see it in the next video. And see, even with all the travel, tire is pretty straight. I'm happy about that. So there is literally no bump steer on the car. And with that new bad boy here, and these fancy VS Racing turbos, and my probably headlight intake that I try to build, I would love to see that on a track like this.
It probably will if the house works better.
And hopefully not die, but we'll see. Well, well, well. Looks like a brake again. And it looks way better than that old crap here. So the coilovers are adjusted. This was the original measurement right here, 4.35 inches. So I went up to 5.35 inches. So that should give us 1 inch more lowering, in theory. I will put... Huh?
I said once we put it down, it may be different. Who knows?
Yeah, if we put it down, it will be a little bit higher. If we roll it from the lift and drive it back on, it probably will be different. So we will see, but hopefully it looks better. I've still stock lowering coil springs in the back, so I can't go lower in the back for now because, huh?
A torch can fix that.
No, a torch will fix nothing here because here is enough room. And I will go coilover in the back anyway, so anti-roll bar coilovers and stuff, and we go a little bit lower right here. Exhaust is not a problem anymore, and other things also not, because we remove most of the stuff anyway. So
no gas tank either.
Yeah, no gas tank and stuff. So it will be higher. No, probably not, because everything else is in the back in the trunk. So if anybody needs some Caprice parts, exhaust, cross member, all that stuff will be for sale pretty soon. Well. We'll put the brake hose on now. I don't film that because you guys know how to do that, hopefully. If not, don't touch a car. And then we do the other side, put the wheels back on, and then we...
Brakes first.
Huh?
Before the wheels, you gotta bleed the brakes.
Yeah, we bleed the brakes, but you probably can reach through there, but...
Maybe.
Yeah. Okie doke. And guess what? Second side is done too. Everything is mounted. It's already late. So we will go home now, and tomorrow morning we bleed the brakes. I have to adjust this side coilovers and do the toe, adjust the steering a little bit so the toe is right, and then we can put the tires, wheels and tires back on and see how low we are. Hopefully as low as it was before, plus 1 inch lower. Man, I like these new brakes. Like I said, my goal is to put TBM brakes or wheelwoods or whatever on later on to match the rears. The rears are wheelwood. But I would love to see some TBMs through this bad boy here. But we'll see. We go to Hackett Cruise Night, roast these tires, and then next week or the week after we put it back on the lift, start to take the hood off, pull the accessories, design a front plate, start welding stuff, get rid of the hydro boost, get rid of the exhaust, the headers, put make a mid plate, pull the transmission, make a mid plate, bolt that stuff back in, limiters instead of the motor mounts, so everything is kind of right-ish, and then start the turbo setup. And if everything is basically mocked up, we'll put this bad boy over there in it. And hopefully make way more power than now. Hopefully more than double. Up there, you can see the chromoly stuff is already here. The bender is right here. No, the bender is right here behind this truck. So I will start to do my first cage. And I have some other goodies to put in. Cup holders, phone holders, all kinds of stuff. Fuel tank and stuff. Hopefully that thing will be a cool drag and drive car. I will try to build my own 850 cage out of chromoly, TIG welded. We will see. We will see. No air in the brakes. Tires, wheels and tires are back on. Looking fresh right here. And Max is getting ready to let it down, and we'll see if we screwed up or not.
Ready?
Yeah, my body's ready. That thing is slow as hell. Well, now I have to drive it up and down a little bit, so the suspension can go down. Pull on that.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, not too bad. We'll drive it down from the lift and see what it does. But I guess the travel in the front. Oh yeah, there's like.
Oh, that's way better than before.
Way better from the
You
bump
can
stop.
actually see the adjustment on the coilover now.
Yeah, and we can turn it down a little bit if we have to.
Yeah.
But see, that was one freaking finger before, so I'm happy
Now
with
there's
that.
like a hand.
Now it's like a couple fingers or a hand or a fist, depends on the fist. So we can probably go an inch lower or so, but we will drive it from the lift and see what happens, because now everything is under tension, and every time I had it on the lift it would act like that, and if you drive it down, it probably goes down an inch or inch and a half or so. We will see, but I'm very happy with that here. Yeah, that's great. That's way better than before.
And your tie rods are in a straight line instead of up.
Yeah, tie rods in a straight line. Alignment is actually not too bad.
You get a lot of camber out. Positive
Yeah,
camber.
yeah. We'll drive it from the lift
Yeah,
and
it's-
probably be better. Okay, I will start that thing up, and then we'll see. Little maintenance on that rear end. That's the first time we changed the oil since we installed it.
Oh.
But it looked pretty good. Clean. And now
No chunks.
no chunks, no nothing. Thank God. Good quality, quick performance piece. Wheel brakes, looking fresh.
This thing doesn't stop on a dime.
Hopefully. Now Max will fill it up, and then we're good. Oh, by the way, exhaust tailpipes are off, because we don't really need them now. They're right over there, so if anybody's interested in buying that kit, it will be for sale soon, including the X-pipe, the Spintech mufflers, the LS swap headers, whatever you like. Guys, we are back from Hackett Cruise Night. It was very cool. These tires are retiring now because there is no threads left. They're we made some great burnouts, we had great time with friends, and we had a little oopsie whoopsie on the way. I will talk about it in a minute. I'll park the car in there now, and then I'll tell you guys what happened on the way. We made a little mistake setting up the suspension in the front, so we had a rubbing issue. So yeah, well, I will tell you in a second. Boom, back in the shop. So, short roadkill story to the little stop at at O'Reilly's in Greenwood. Well, you saw we put we adjusted the suspension new and all that stuff. What I didn't realize is that the drop spindle stuff pushed the wheel probably, I would say, half an inch more out. So it started to rub on the inner fender right here because it was a little bit too low. So we had to stop at O'Reilly's in Greenwood. They gave us a floor jack. My wife was so nice. She drove back here to the shop and grabbed the keys for the Gear 1 coilovers, and we're able to crank it up probably half an inch more, and now there is enough room. I clicked the shocks a little bit harder. Now all good. So these tires are done. Nothing left except a lot of rubber back here. So it was a great night. We had so much fun. We made some great burnouts. I will put one or two in the video. My wife was so nice and filmed something for us. And that was the last rollout for 2025, and that thing will be back in 2026 with this new bad boy installed. 408 stroker, ISKI cam, ISKI lifters, all the good stuff. 2 VS Racing 7874 turbos or 7876, something like this. Fully forged stroke to 408, Brodix BR3 heads, nice Sheriff Fab intake, Motion Raceworks 102, throttle body with their billet merch. So I can't wait to put that thing in there. And hopefully we're done till April. That's my deadline for the car, because we want to race the little drag and drive the circuit. It goes from Tulsa to Oklahoma City, I think, and then back to Tulsa. So only a 3-day deal, pretty cool. Not a lot of pressure, but this will be the first rollout as a drag and drive car, hopefully, with cage, with all the stuff we need. As always, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing and following. Thanks for the likes and comments. Really appreciate it. I hope we can gain more followers over the winter with that project, and I'll see you in the next video.